Bruce.
Bruce, thank you, Bruce.
And Stephanie.
Yes.
We got the red hat ladies here. It's a pretty predominantly group. Excuse me, gentlemen. So where's the main, where are we going to do the main activity? Is it all going to be here?
It's all going to be in this room. That table that's set up with the microphone, that's where the panel's going to come in.
Okay.
So they're just taking a little break for now, and then they'll get started.
Okay. Yeah, a little break before.
Okay.
I got you. I thought it said 12:30, and then all of a sudden I was like,
Yes.
I had to hurry to get here, so.
Sure. Yes.
So, okay, so everybody's going to be there, and then, all right, so everybody's just kind of milling about and getting
Yep.
some refreshments. And,
Yes, the start time, we had it set for 11:30, but they're kind of giving a little buffer until they start.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds great, especially with traffic on the island sometimes.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy out here already.
Well, it's a weekend.
Yeah.
All right, guys, they're getting ready to set up. So this is going to be a conversation with some of the George Floyd family for Juneteenth. So it was originally scheduled to start at 12:30, but they're going to push it back to noon. So they're just doing some small presentations here.
I don't know how everybody think, but together we can figure this out. And George showed everybody that, so I'm excited today to see what the family got to say. And I hope everybody. And my story is, I did this kitchen incarcerated. I was incarcerated for 18 years, and I learned to trade the art while I was down there, and I did a couple of degrees, turned my life around, came out.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Started reaching out to a lot of people, connected with Sam, and Sam was able to give me the opportunity to do my first art show at the Field Culture Center, which turned out very, very nice. I saw a lot of it's by the grace of God, we all make mistakes. It's just about how you react to the mistake that you make. It's a lot of people incarcerated that I know that are very talented, that have talent, that can change their life down there, and on their way out here. But I find beauty in art. Art is very, very beautiful for me. I love it. I love teaching. I do art shows. I do paint parties. I do all that type of stuff because it's like art. It's everybody seeing it in a different light now than before. So you got so many great masters of art. You got so many. So anybody in here doing art, never think that your art is ugly. I want y'all to know that it don't matter what kind of art you're doing, because art is beautiful. Everybody look at art in a different perspective. So that's my story. I enjoy it. God has opened doors for me and steadily opened doors for me, so that allows me to help someone else. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. I'm going to continue to sharpen my skills and continue to help people continue to communicate, continue to elevate, innovate, and do whatever I can to help anybody who ever need help or need me there. So yeah, that's my story.
So when we did so when we opened the Neocultural Center in the 2200 block of Strand, that space used to be where our ancestors were sold. Maya Angelou has a quote, "History, despite its wrench and pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again." So what we were attempting to do is change the energy of the space and create a platform that would create opportunity for not just Thomas, but all artists to sell their art. And where labor was exploited, now the artists at the gallery, when they sell their art, they get 80% of anything they sell, and 20% goes to the Neocultural Center. So when he did this art show, that was one of the best art shows that we had, and his story is a story of redemption. Right? None of us are, no human being should be thrown away. We should give everyone an opportunity to make right if they had a mistake, made a mistake, and that's what he was saying. He owned his mistake. He paid his debt to society, and now he's trying to sow good seeds into others. Right? So the sooner that we realize that we are all human beings floating on a rock that we call Earth, in an area we call space, the better our society will be. Yes, ma'am. All right, Thomas, maybe your IG handle, your Twitter, whatever, all that. Website.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Art Life, some keyboard _Art Life, and you can follow me on Facebook on all platforms under my regular name, Thomas Ward. That's where you can find everything. Ward, W-A-R-D. Or you can go on Instagram on the Ward Nation Gallery, all together one word, Ward Nation Gallery. Yeah.
All right, the mayor of Texas City is coming in. Thankful to have Mayor Kendrick Johnson in our presence today. You know, it's not often that I get to recognize a Longhorn. I'm sorry. You know, it's just I don't want to lose half the crowd. We got Longhorn fans. I'll forgive you. All right. So next row, we're on fourth row. All right. Let's do half. All right. In the center here, we're going to start moving half so we can get this going. Make sure you come and get a neighbor's seat. Don't let nobody take your neighbor's seat. So again, the Neocultural Center is located at 2217 Strand, Suite 101. 2217 Strand, Suite 101. Open Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 6 o'clock. Ran by the Executive Director, Ms. Sue Johnson. Curator, Danny Asbury Hill is here, but he's getting refreshments. All right. Fifth row. You got half on the fifth row on the go. People standing on the wall, y'all probably look like everybody taking y'all spot on the wall. This is the curator for the Neocultural Center, Danny Asbury Hill. In the augmented reality, uncover everything, they brought that out together. So when you scan the mural, the videos show up to teach you the history of the mural. right, something else I want to point out this year is advertising here. Is another amazing art piece designed in 1987 by Anthony Wool, who is the grandfather of Chase Sampson, who was the first artist to draw the mural for us downtown. Now, she was not the artist that we found the windows, but she's a very talented artist that graduated her undergraduate from LSU and her master's from Florida State. She was the first to do a sketch of the mural with Gordon Franklin and soldiers. But her grandfather was a very talented, he's still alive. And this is from 1987. She said she's going to donate this to the Juneteenth Museum in Galveston. So they told me the line is short. So another hand can get up on the side and in the center, 3 rows. Half of the people can get up from 3 rows. All right, but there's not a very long line, it's that you can move pretty fast. So we'll get done through. I appreciate your cooperation and working with you.
Hey guys, they're just getting warmed up. Moderators in here, do I?
All right, this is a wonderful turnout. Ms. Nancy, you want to say something? On behalf of the library.
Hey, our guy. I know this is a little out of our time frame, but considering this context, I could definitely use a mod in here. I don't want these people getting too crazy. Hey, keep that up, I'll just kick you out.
We have a couple of people that will care. And don't overload yourself and spill it. So we just have to get somebody to help roll it away. All right, so if we're done on the left side of the center, we got some half the road. Remember, somebody stay and keep the road. When you make this, look like the center road, a couple of people stay. All right, hand side, y'all can start to get up. All right, maybe you'll go over to the next row.
So we're at the Rosenberg Library in Galveston, Texas. This is going to be a conversation with the George Floyd family. It'll be starting, I think the official start time is in about 10 minutes. Guys, I'm gonna rig up a little different. There we go. I'm trying to get out of the way. Whatever. Yeah, I am a white guy. I love that all you people want peace in the world, and you got all these dirtbags in here just running racism like crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of nice people here. The red hat ladies are like the first couple rows. They do a lot of work in the community. I love how you justify somebody being killed. That's wild.
All right, well, I'm going to wait in. I'm going to call first Miss Juneteenth, Texas. She did not but she's always ready. So we stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So this young lady was the first to compete in the statewide Miss Juneteenth, Texas. It's going to be in Texas City, so she'll tell you about that and where you can get tickets and everything. But if you can hear my voice clap once, you can hear my voice clap twice. All right, everybody's attention for a second for this young lady.
Hello, my name is Madison Swain, and I'm the inaugural Miss Juneteenth, Texas, and I will be representing the state of Texas as the inaugural Miss Juneteenth.
organization as a state director. This is the state director.
Absolutely. So that's meeting all the information. All of the girls will be coming into town on July 10th through the 13th, and they'll be sitting at the Spring Christmas Fair. Will be all over Galveston County. We'll travel to Galveston. We're so excited to be here for the third annual pageant. Like she said, having contestants, visions, and queens are coming from all over the state of Texas, right here to the birthplace of Juneteenth. And we're really excited to have everyone. We're really excited to be here. And if you need tickets, you can go to Miss Juneteenth Texas on the Facebook page. And also Miss Juneteenth _ Texas on Instagram. Follow us, like, share, everything we're posting, and you get tickets to that event. They're already on sale now.
All right, we have 5 minutes, so everyone can find their seats. All right, 5 minutes. All right, this is an amazing curated exhibition. So, Ms. Janae, if you can tell everyone about your amazing exhibition here, Weathering the Storm. We have time. So we want to encourage the next generation of leaders, the next generation of memory keepers, the next generation of Galvestonians. So her family history dates back to 1865. So she can tell you about that. Her mother's book over there. Her mother's here. Her uncle's here. She has a lot of families, so watch your comments. You might be sitting next to the family. But she's going to tell you a little bit about this exhibition that's on display that hopefully you'll get a chance to see after the program.
Well, I wasn't expecting to speak today, but I'm ready to speak at any time. There's many people who know me know I like to yell. So I actually came to full responsibility for this. There was an incredible group of people. You can see the group of them on the panel here, next to the title "Weathering the Storm" here in the Harris Gallery. Yes, I did design this exhibit, but it would not have been possible without the museum curator Rachel Hooper, who is one of my good friends. Her sticking her neck out to have this exhibit happen and being such an amazing listener and wanting to know the stories of African Americans in Galveston in a way that has never been told before, this would not have happened. My family is on every single one of these panels, along with so many other people who have not had the chance to have their story told. Some that my uncle, Roy Collins III, would be glad to let you all know about, and I'll put him on the spot, but he's not really popular. But if you ever wanted a walking Wikipedia person, then that's it. Huge thank you to Jerry Shaw right here in the white and pink also, who is also the reason that this is here. These focus on the intersection between Black Galvestonians and their experience and the 1900 storm. As far as my knowledge goes, no one had ever done an exhibit that put both of these perspectives together. It was always separate, and the Black experience is significant. There was so much building that we had done here that we did both prior, we did afterward, and had to do afterward because of things that happened, unfortunately, during the aftermath of the 1900 storm. One of the things that I've been quoted saying is talking about how often the narrative of the 1900 storm is about resilience. Of course, Galveston is known for being resilient. We've been through so much, but unfortunately, people forget that that resilience also came off the backs of free, intimidated labor of Black Americans who had to clean up dead bodies so that the island could get started. That's disgusting. It's dehumanizing that they were forced to do that. But we're still here. We still keep this country running, and we still keep this city running. And so that's one reason that this exhibit is a lot to me. Again, I'm so thankful for the Rosenberg Library for making this space available. Not everybody has the gut to do that. So please take the time to appreciate it later after the Floyd speak. And please visit the Galveston, Texas History Center. My great-great-grandfather's papers are in there, which is where a lot of this information comes from Albert Skull. And so much more information that, again, Jerry Ann Shaw, Rachel Hooper, Caitlin, and yes, there's so many hardworking people here at the library who want to help you all. Also, if you're interested in exploring your family history, you can use Ancestry.com for free here at Rosenberg Library. So we can help you do that. You don't have to pay for the subscription at home. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much.
Special Collections, which includes the museum and the Galveston, Texas History Center. The history is not old and in the past. History is today. History is yesterday and the day before. So if you have any photographs, if you have any questions, please come visit anybody in the History Center. We can help you have preserve your family papers. If you wanted to come to us, we'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. History is not 125 years ago. It is today. So, I'd like to welcome you to the Juneteenth conversation with the family of George Floyd. It's a program sponsored by the Rosenberg Library and the University of Houston. It is my pleasure to introduce you to two of the panel discussants, and in just a moment, they will then introduce you to Bernice and Nita Floyd. David McNally is the Cullen Distinguished Professor of History and Business at the University of Houston and Director of the Center for the Study of Capitalism. As a high school student, David McNally joined the movement against the Vietnam War. On entering the university, he organized a campus chapter of the Committee to Free Angela Davis. Early steps in a lifetime of activism in global justice, anti-racist, and socialist movements. He earned a PhD in social and political thought in 1983 and was hired as professor of political science at York University of Toronto before joining the Department of History at the University of Houston in 2018. Samuel Collins, III, is a seventh-generation Texan and a lifelong resident of Galveston County. He graduated with a BBA in accounting from Texas A&M University in 1994. In 2015, he was named the Galveston County Citizen of the Year for his work in Galveston County and the preservation community of the local, state, and national levels. He currently serves as an advisor with the National Trust for Historic Preservation representing Texas. He is actively involved in the national campaign to #Tell the Full Story by expanding the narrative and telling the truth about American history. Please help me welcome Dr. McNally and Mr. Collins and the Floyds.
So some of you will have to forgive me because I'm going to tell the same salad story that I tell all the time. With regard to our history, often the stories we hear all the time are what I call the lettuce and tomato stories of founding fathers and early settlers. But our history salad includes croutons, bacon, olives, pickles, and other ingredients. So today we're going to add a little flavor to this history by expanding the narrative of this story of conversation centered around Juneteenth. Many individuals do not realize that there was a group organized to make Juneteenth a national holiday for over 2 decades, but there was very little support to make it a national holiday. Like I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, Dr. Myers passed away in 2018, and then the torch of the baton was passed on to Ms. O'Hooley, who everyone now knows as the grandmother of Juneteenth. Ms. O'Hooley had come to Galveston and done one of her walks in 2019 in September. And in October of 2019, she has started a petition to get support for a national Juneteenth holiday. Between October of 2019 and May 25th of 2020, she had less than 10,000 signatures. On the morning of May 25th, I received an email at 8:47 a.m. encouraging everyone to try to get more signatures, try to organize a walk in your community, because we were not getting support, the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, at the level that we were going. Unfortunately, that evening, George Floyd was Smokeless petition was the first to be started for the Juneteenth national holiday. And as a result, when people started signing the petition, that number grew from less than 10,000 to 1.6 million signatures. Now, someone told me it had nothing to do with George Floyd, but if we went from October of 2019 to May of 2020 and had less than 10,000 signatures, and after May 25th, through the summer and until October when she went to DC, it grew to 1.6 million. That was not a mistake. Now this Juneteenth history is not in competition with the 4th of July. The 4th of July is a freedom birthday for our country, and Juneteenth is a freedom birthday for the former enslaved. I have 4 children. The 3 older ones, their birthdays are March 14th, March 28th, and April 4th. I can try to have one birthday party. But it ain't gonna happen. Everybody wants their own birthday party. And then their favorite food, their favorite music played at the birthday party. So we should see these freedom birthdays as 2 birthdays in our family. And we should celebrate from June 19th to the 4th of July. Not in competition, but in unity. In the Bible, it said that I am a 7th-generation Texan with roots back to 1837. So one of the earliest births that I identified is a 4th great-grandmother in 1840, when Texas was an independent nation or Republic of Texas. Her parents were born on the continent of Africa. Now I bring this up to let you know I have African roots, but I am deeply Texan. I have African roots, but I'm deeply Texan. Our family and other families have been here since the beginning of not only America, but the beginning of time. Again, we are all human beings floating on a rock that we call Earth in an area we call space. So today we're going to have a conversation with Philonus and Keita Floyd to talk about the impact of the murder of George Floyd on this country and their continued work, not only in America, but around the world. So Dr. McNally is going to come up and, or he can, depending on how loud his appel is, if he can speak from his seat, but you're going to stand for the initial part. Before we start the conversation with the Floyds, and give you a little background of the work that U of H has done with the Floyds for the past 5 years.
Can you hear me, everyone? Yes. Okay. This is the little one that's put on my jacket, and you can all hear me. At the back, raise your hand, somebody, if you can hear me. Okay, beautiful. That's great. We're good. It's really an honor, it's a privilege to be here with all of you today. And I want to say a few words at the outset about why, as a historian, I am here. And in many ways, it's all said eloquently right here by the great James Baldwin. We are responsible for this history. Each and every one of us is responsible for this history. In order to move forward as a society after the fall of apartheid, South Africa had to have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Why? Because the truth was not told for decades. The truths about injustice, about racial oppression, about the deep structures of discrimination in the society. And if there was going to be healing in that society, if there was going to be reconciliation then truths had to be told. And as historians, that is our business. Telling the truth about the past we have lived so that we can make different futures, better futures, emancipated futures, futures free of oppression and injustice. And so I would like to tell you that as a faculty member in history at the University of Houston, that I am here today with some of my colleagues teaching that department. We have half a dozen graduate students from the Department of History here today because we as historians must make a commitment to telling truths no matter whether they make some people uncomfortable or angry. Tragic event, the murder of George Floyd. It was my additional privilege then to get to know Felonious and Keita Floyd. And we agreed that through the history department, we should sponsor an annual George Floyd Memorial Lecture, where we would bring major historians of the movements for racial and social justice in the United States to speak in George Floyd's memory every year. But this year being the 5th anniversary, it was self-evident that we needed simply to have a conversation with George's brother Felonious and Felonious' wife, Keita.
Some of our reserve seats, the guests have offered to give up their seats. So if there are some people standing, Dr. Wright, you can come sit here in the front. You can take up these seats in the front. We have 3 here on the right, 2 in the center, 1 on the second row. So if someone's standing there would like to see, please take a seat. So
If you're my age group.
We have 4 seats here in the front.
And so here we are today, bringing together the 160th anniversary of Juneteenth with the players that I give a shout out to Mr. Collins himself. I said to you that we have some historians in the room, but the reality is that the vast majority of historians in the United States simply said for years something like, Union soldiers liberated Galveston on June 19, 1865. General Gordon Granger read out Order Number 3, declaring the end of slavery and absolute liberty. It took the labors of Mr. Collins to force historians to begin to acknowledge that the majority of those troops were United States colored troops. And he did that as a community historian working in his after hours to dig up the historical records. And in doing that, he said to us, it's not just a story of emancipation. It's also a story of Black self-emancipation. At the hands of those United States colonists. As Mr. Collins also said earlier, after the murder of George Floyd, we saw a global uprising for racial and social justice. A lot of people want to pretend it never happened. Some of them want to pretend that it was all just violent rage. Listen, when society has to reckon with a public execution, some people are going to get hauled under the collar, let's be honest. Okay? But we know that something in over 25 million people in the United States, not counting the millions of others in other countries, took to the streets to say, enough is enough. This must stop. The use of this kind of violence to snuff out human lives must stop. Since that day, these two people have not stopped. And I mean that literally. Philonus and Peter Floyd have not stopped for more than 5 years. The phones ring constantly. There's been another police shooting in Georgia. Can you be there with your family? Speak to the media. They don't ask themselves, is this convenient? They are there. The United Nations says we're setting up a special commission on racism and violence in the United States, and we need you to come and give testimony. They are there. They get called to Washington, to Atlanta. They get called constantly, and they have given themselves in George Floyd's memory to this struggle and to this movement. Honestly, sometimes I don't know that they had a chance to catch their breath and to sleep. But that is what this has meant to them. So we're going to have that conversation with them today. And I'm going to start simply by asking them to talk to us about the impact, not just of George's murder, but of the global movement for social and racial justice afterwards, and what is it that keeps you going?
Hi, hello? I'm just happy that you all showed up today. This is a blessing that people even able to unite and come around the world and engage festivities all around the world, especially what happened with my brother. This is the 5th year of remembrance of him. It was jarring and unnerving, but you know, for me to lose my brother the way I lost my brother, he had become a catalyst of change. And people all around the world watched for him. He was a global figure. People seen him. They put words all over the world. And the same people that stepped and watched for him, I still see these people every day. Because it didn't matter what it is to me, they was dead. Because they seen the video. They said that was wrong from the beginning. And May 25th, like he said, he seen the execution. I seen a modern day lynching, something that a lot of people who have ever witnessed something like that, they have the opportunity to see that you can't hide it. No matter if it's something happening at your house right now, your ring camera is gonna pick it up. So the cameras, people were there, no matter how old the people were. You had somebody that been around a lot. There was an older guy who was on the scene when my brother was murdered, and you had 2 kids who were there who was watching it. And you also had a guy who was in martial arts, and he knew what kind of hold that the police officer was putting on my brother. And you had somebody that was a paramedic who was there. So you had people that from different spectrums in broad daylight witnessing it. But I had a glimpse of hope just watching because I see people united all around the world. But when I went into the courtroom, like everything failed. Everything. Because we was dealing with grief and pain. We received a life sentence for those officers. All those cops, they got a slap on the wrist. And we're still fighting for so much. And the fact that I'm still standing last. You like the slaves were free, they didn't even know that they were free. And I'm here. I think about the freedom. I think about the hope. I think about the faith that we have right now. And we have a lot of things, you know, we push forward, but we still got a long way to go. So, as individuals in here, I can see you all as family. Because why would you not be here and not be part of my family? Y'all know what I'm going through. I don't know y'all from a can of paint, but y'all do. I spoke up for my brother, and y'all all know that was wrong. I'm one of my brothers, there's another brother, and I got 2 more sisters. But the fact still stands, they're hurt. Every day, they're going through something. They don't want to talk to the media, they don't want to talk to nobody, they don't want to answer their phones, because they're thinking about their here at the table. They're thinking about we'll no longer have our brother anymore. We're thinking about Gigi. She's intelligent. She's a gifted person when you're around her because she's always happy. You know what I mean? But the fact still stands, she lost her father. She'll never have a father to be able to walk her down the aisle. She'll never have a father to be able to go attend a play when she has one. She'll never have a father to be able to just speak to her and let her know the values of a woman. Everybody needs somebody in their life. And I don't even have my brother to talk to no more. But the fact still stands, God, he's inside of me. But my brother, he hangs around me every day. And I know he's here right now. And he's applauding all of y'all who are coming in here because he knows the struggle. This is a roller coaster ride. And the picture is right there. George is in here. And I thank you so much, brother, because I know you had to put that piece together. So I'm going through a lot, and this is a touching moment. Mr. McDowell, thank you so much for just being able to be a figure like in my life. You know, you have elevated me to a different platform. It's a pleasure to have y'all around because I'm not just by myself. This is a roller coaster ride. Always, you never know who you're going to be. You go to different places, people love you, people hate you. But at the end of the day, I understand where they're coming from because the world wants to provide a perfect man. They died for our sins, and they still crucified the same man. So if he can go through it, I know I can. I have my wife right here. Every time that I'm going through it, I'm having a nightmare, I don't know what's going on. I just know that I'm shaking. But she tells me it's going to be okay. But for her to tell me that, she knows a lot because I never think things are going to be okay until I see it. You got to show it to me. And the fight that we're in, I just want a lot of people to realize that we need to continue to speak out. No matter if you're a celebrity or not, just be who you are. Tell the truth. You know what you see. And more people will come to you because you're being real. That's the bottom line. That picture you just showed, his life mattered. All our lives matter. And that's
Guys, that was amazing. I don't know how we get through it without being so emotional, but when you speak of Dr. McNally, when you say communities. So we didn't know what direction to go into when we received the call, what was going on in George. We didn't know who to call on. We just didn't know. And so we woke up and we got in touch with Big Mom. I think somebody said that we got in touch with Ben. And it was a roller coaster ride for Ben because Ben had his job, but he had the work of other, people that he was working on their cases as well. So we needed people like Senator and Dr. McMillan in our corner to just bring about awareness, educate us on what steps we need to take and how, what we're challenged. And they answered the call, so thank you guys for doing it. A son, a father, a brother, a friend. That's what George was in his community. He was a pillar of support. Like everybody, I'm talking about third ward. So he felt bigger in this society, this community. Just like so many of the underserved and not served communities that we know into now. We bring about awareness, we bring about education. We started our program, we started an institution on with social change. Some kids will never be able to play basketball because of their behavior or because their parents just don't have the funds. And so we bring about those games and, that type of environment to those babies. They see things different from a different line. They go on college tours. They get to learn how to cook and different things of that nature. We have a reentry program. And so all of this was birthed because as a natural nurturer, I couldn't find a way to stop Otis from crying. He had nightmares when this first happened. And it was just so hard to constantly get him to just be strong enough to not say, well, this is an outgoing person. He's always in the mix of doing something, whether it comes from sports or just out helping our kids' friends, with something. We always answer the call. And so to see that he was stuck, and I couldn't fix it, all I could do was pray and ask God, how can we channel this in his energy? So we turned our hand into purpose by birthing our institution. And since then, we've been on the road. We've touched 56 million people. But it was people like our congresswoman and our congressmen who were extremely important. That's why you have to go to the right people in office.
Before he was there, he was a mayor in Houston. He was there. Even certain like rappers and stuff like that, they were reaching out, like Trent Troop and stuff like that. A lot of these people, they helped elevate my platform that I had, because you gotta understand, I'm from the projects. It takes a lot for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, you gotta have a heart. And for me, I had to reach out, and I did what I basically could. When you go to church and you see the other people, everybody's there. I don't know nobody who fears anybody but God. So they're going to step and they're going to always have their chest out and their chin up because they're comfortable wherever they're at. They can't shop with you. If you're going to ask a question, most likely they're going to be able to answer the question. You know, you show me your friends, I show you who you are. So you always want to put yourself in good company at all times. Because when you're down, that person can bring you up. Because they know you and they know what you're going through. Because being tough and having, and the problem is they say all that rah-rah, you know, like it's like, but at the end of the day, it's still good people no matter where you're at. Because kids walked up to me. And then when the kids walk up to me, I know the adults know what's going on. Because if a kid can pick it up, I know you can pick it up anytime. So I'm humble. Everywhere that I go, I speak to anybody that be homeless. I'm gonna speak to them. Because one thing my brother told me, he said, I'm tired of homeless man shoot me because I watched him do it. And that was beneficial to show me everybody in this world, it doesn't matter who you are, your life still matters.
So we always have to talk about the good, the bad, and the good. So when we were in trial, we heard that and his life didn't matter. He put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly allegedly. He did so many bad things in this community. All of these things are allegations. We don't know any of that to be true. Unfortunately, we just don't. So what we do know though is that in 9 minutes and 29 seconds, he was ours. He was a human being. So that was what was ripped away from us. So when we went to court, that's not what, of course, they wanted to focus on. They wanted to focus on all the legacy things. So here we are 5 years later, and our administration, current administration, is talking about consuming George's body to extract blood from his heart to prove that he died from an overdose. We know this is so it's things like that that really takes a toll on us. I mean, it feels like, you know, we start right back from day one. You know, that scab and the borders just reopen. In addition to having the challenges of going to all these other families and trying to show face and, you know, love on them and keep them around in situations when they lose their loved ones. It's tough. And so, you know, it's not having given that, you know, we'll be in the hills, you know, arguing, telling people why we need the Georgia Justice Police that pass. We want our police officers to go home, just like we want the suspect and whoever they're chasing to go home to their family members. Consequences we all have to face. But at the end of the day, life should not be taken because of something that, you know, someone thinks that was perfect. And that's just what we advocate for. So the Georgia Justice Police and that is all officers wear their body cameras. And that's in George Floyd. They don't have any gang tactical forces. That's not retired Nichols, which is a gentleman that was murdered at the hands of 5 police officers after George. Then we have Leon Taylor, which is still not aware. Now guys, these are famous names. You go pull it up, you know these names in your household. But what about the millions that we don't know? There's so many more that us and I are learning about, and it blows our mind like, oh my God. And it's happening in our back door. We can't even keep up with it. So we have people that's calling us and sending us stuff all day long. Our phone does not stop ringing. We don't have to sit there, you know, catching access to Katie. And it does take a toll on us. But it's something up in us, you know, God doesn't always choose the qualified. And so that's what gives us strength. Because we feel like God chose us and we go out to see him on completion. We can't lay him down. And so that's our fight. That is what gives us strength to carry on each day. It's a hard task. But I think that Melissa and I understand doing a great job at it, and that come with instruction. So we figure it out as we go and stay grounded in our faith. But I don't know about y'all, but if you don't have God and your
Why don't we move from that exactly into what your project is right now? In Great Britain, they killed 40. That's the daily rate of killings by police officers in the United States. And so there's a lot of work to do. And one of the things, and I'm going to stand up for this because some of you will see the t-shirt I'm wearing. Reverend Ann Lister, you're wearing the same one over here. Mr. Collins has his as well. This is the official logo and t-shirt of the Philonis and Keita Floyd Institute for Social Change. And so let's take a few minutes for you to explain to us the vision of your institute. And maybe I would just say that there are lots of really good charitable causes out there, but don't forget about this one. Okay, so please do share with us.
So we combat systemic racism policy, and we bring about awareness to our communities. We go into underserved and not served communities. One of the programs that I'm extremely excited about is our reentry program. So what is happening across the world is that whenever an inmate is being released, not to mention the multiple deaths that are unexplained and happening, we assess those as well, but there are a lot of inmates that are being released and they're given a ticket one way to wherever their respective home is. And so we don't know what's happening to those inmates. And so they're either becoming a part of their homeless population or they're becoming a part of repeat offenders. They're becoming repeat offenders, which is recidivism. And so trying to combat that is what we've implemented. Now there are several, programs around, but ours is going to be a bit different. It's called Breathe Again. And the great thing about that is we don't just want to find a safe space for them to go. We want to give them like a 30-day assessment. So we want to go in and make sure that we have, them assessed and we provide Social Security cards, everything they need to sustain, right? In addition to that, a lot of them can't get housing and things like that because why? They have that record. So those that qualify, we want to make sure that they're a part of a transitional housing program and that, we have some type of hotel or if not an apartment housing facility where they can be considered as well. They have mental health issues, you just don't qualify. Your application just won't make it through. And so we want to try and combat those things. So that's a program that I'm extremely excited and honored to be a part of. In addition to that, our babies, a lot of our teens, they've turned to gun and gang violence in every community that we're into. And so putting a care plan in place for each family is what's needed. Mom may be absent, dad may be absent, and so every family is uniquely designed in their own way and right. And so we go in and we have those conversations because a lot of them will say, oh, these resources are available to you, but then you get to the end of that 30-page application and you realize that you still just don't qualify, for those benefits. So we're trying to overcome some of those things. And so, yeah, we're constantly having difficult and tough conversations, but we're not letting up. A lot of people say, well, what are you doing when it comes to policy? Why we don't want to vote? I don't want to vote. The decision is already made, and those people have been watching. Honey, you have to vote. You have to vote. You have to get to know your congressman, your congresswomen, your state representatives on the local and state level, and here's why. Here's why. So when they wanted to pardon Chauvin, our president has the power to do so, correct? He would be pardoned on the federal level, which he received 20-something years, but he was also convicted on the state level. So had we not voted for the state level, then he would be pardoned on the federal level, and then he can just go on and live his best life. But he still has to serve time on the state level. But what about all the officers that don't? And what about all the others that just don't always see on the federal level, or the state level? So that's why it's important to vote the right people in office, so that should something like this happen in your family, unfortunately, or someone you'll know why this state representative is always at the table or need to be in these meetings like this, holding these difficult conversations, and being held accountable for the work that we put them in office to do. So it's a recurring door, it's a revolving door, it never stops. And so there's a lot of other things that we do under that umbrella too. We expect 1,200 people for toy drives, your annual toy drives. We We gave out 1 million toys. Just for the 5th anniversary of George, we gave out TVs in these underserved communities and scooters so that the kids and the parents can get to and from. And just fellowship and loving on these people. We bring down our dignitaries, Benjamin Crump, and we have to thank the Reverend Al Sharpton for praying for us. Fresh air to be around family, people that we call family, and it feels like home. Because this work it's a lot. It's a lot to bear. But I am a true believer that God won't give us more than we can handle, and so we stand firm on it. We're gonna continue this fight.
She said a mouthful, and it's hard to come out. But one thing I can tell you, you have to turn your pain into power, and you have to turn your struggle into strength. To me, I treat this just like working out. It's gonna get tough, but you gotta keep pushing. And all of these people around the world, especially the same people who came to attend this, one thing I can tell you, all you need is just a little push, and I guarantee you can get through whatever with that little push. But you gotta have the right people around you. Because if it weren't for my wife, my sisters, my brothers, people like that help me, and then you run into people outside, and you don't know these people, but they come right up to you and say, hey, let me talk to you. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm feeling sorry for you. You know, they love you. And that's one of the biggest reasons we started packages, which is the Bologna's the Kingdom Floyd Institute for Social Change. We wanted to be able to keep communities engaged. We wanted to make sure that my brother's legacy would never go to in vain. I didn't want his life to be in vain. I wanted to be able to reach out and speak to people, be able to get people educated, be able to let people know that, you know, I understand that you fear your life, but we still got to keep pushing. I want everybody to get, even if it's going to college, I want people to get education for different reasons, because college is not a scam. You can put that in your arsenal. When it comes to trades, I'm out there in the community trying to get people who are going through jail and getting out of jail, hey, you can get a trade. You can be a truck driver, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, you can do HVAC. They pay a lot, and that's what people need. You know, at the end of the day, instead of trying to survive, let's put these people in a better place so they can thrive. And that's what I'm looking at, because that's what I want. I want to see people smile. Hey, I want to be on this thing. I'm pushing, you know, and I want everybody else to push. So if we can do that, this can be a movement of a lifetime. And it's not about hurting people, because at the end of the day, this is not a black thing, this is not a white thing. It's the right thing.
I would like to say just for a second that, you know, last year we saw the Floyds at the Juneteenth celebration in Washington, D.C., right next to then President Biden. And I do want to say that he was here this week, and he's former President Joseph Biden, because someone will leave and say we only said President Biden intentionally. We just want to be truthful. He is the former president, and he's still referred to as President Biden. So before the media clip is edited and the narrative is pushed that we wouldn't say that he was former, share that. So the reason I bring it up is because they were supposed to be here Thursday, but they couldn't make it to the program. Yesterday was Malona's birthday. So So when you think about what you want to spend your birthday doing this work, going to all these places, last year in Washington DC, this year in Galveston, but they continue to do this work and sacrifice. And I called them, I was in the hot sun in the line to get in to read it. I'm like, where are y'all at? They waiting on y'all. Mr. Collins, I'm like, I was like, I know you. But they are human beings and life be life. And she shared with me, and I'm not going to share with y'all, life started lifing and they couldn't make it together. But they are here today. And we are so thankful. So we have about 13 minutes, so we want to start wrapping up the conversation, but we're not going to leave right at 1 o'clock because we do have, I have Greg Schaefer here, who is an international, a student at Audi International School, High School in Houston. He wrote a gift column about Juneteenth. He's going to speak to me. We also have Dr. Myers' widow that's going to come up to present the Dr. Ronald Myers Legacy Award to the Floyds. We have a swag bag for you. So just like former President Joseph Biden Jr. received a swag bag from the community of Galveston. They're going to get a swag bag. Thomas Ward has his drawing that he's given to the family, so he wants to do that too. So we can continue on. But I wanted to let people know that even the day after his birthday, he was supposed to go on a fishing trip yesterday. We were going to try to get him on the boat, but that didn't work out because life started lifing. And so we want to show each other grace when life starts life.
And guys, really quickly, before we get into our next question, I just want y'all to understand something. Again, we didn't know what to do when George had it. But when I say Biden called us and stayed on that phone for 2 hours, we knew Hunter before even getting to meet him in person. He shared his lifetime story with us, every member of his family. And he didn't just stop there. He and Jill came down and they made sure that we had conversation and we held space in regards to George and, you know, what does we see as, you know, a justice. And so we thank that administration for everything they did in honor of not just George, but so many lives that were lost to the injustice of police officers.
And you know the thing about Joe, it's like when I was first started speaking on television, President Biden, he would come, and he wasn't the president then, but he flew down a numerous amount of times to speak with me, talk to me, and he was there from the beginning. And then for him to come down here for Juneteenth, he showed up.
You know, 5 years ago, I just want to remind us where we were. We were in the pandemic. They were talking about people 50 and over having complications from COVID, and I had just turned 49. And my daughter, my second daughter that was in college, when they planned the march in Houston, she said, "Dad, I want to go, but I don't want to go alone." And I'm like, "Baby, I'm 49." I'm like right on the cusp. And you know, I got some things I want to do with your mom. But it was my daughter and the younger generation, which often is the younger generation that's saying that enough is enough. And I said, if my daughter wants to go, I've been there since she entered the world at 3 pounds and 10 ounces as a preemie. I will go with you, and I will stand with you, and stand with the others, kind of pushing them back, with my mask on. And we were in Houston with, I think, 60,000 people, and I was trying to hold my breath, and I'm still here, but you know, it was a different time. We were fearful at that time, but we are still here trying to do this work to make the world a better place. So, you know, I often talk about darkness, ignorance, and the only way that we're and hate, the only way we're going to get rid of that is with the light of truth, honest conversation, and love, So if our torch and your torch can light the torch of others, the more light that is provided, that light will drive out darkness, ignorance, hate. And we need more love and we need more light. So hopefully today Galveston got a little brighter, Texas got a little brighter, America got a little brighter, the world got a little brighter, until the point that the earth shines so bright that it makes the sun envious. I would say this. If I take a pen out of my pocket, I'm being honest with you. If I take a pen out of my pocket and I write a story, just like what I just said, I did not write that down before, I just said that right now. If I take a pen and write a story, what sense does it make for the pen to take credit? The pen is simply an instrument in the hand of the creator. So what was flowing through the message as I was saying that, I am the instrument in which the Creator sent it to you. It was not Sam Collins, right? The work that we do as individuals, we are instruments in the hand of our Creator. Allow yourself to get into a space where the love and the light can come through so that it can help others. So it can help others. So, well, I did that. You know, I did that, but I didn't do that, so I just want to put that together.
He got the best seat in the house, and he always watching. You know what I mean?
And for some of the people that are standing as people leave, you can take those seats. All right. Yeah, it's 12:54, so we need one person from the staff to take the mic to the audience. All right.
Okay, anyone who would like to raise a question for Columbus Orthopedic Joy? Gentleman over here.
All right, the next one.
Thank you very much. Where can we purchase one of these shirts? The t-shirt.
Sure.
Actually go to our website, actually email me, info@pakfisc.com, and I'll mail you one. We normally have them and we give them away, but we had something going on with our t-shirt guy. Might be life.
All right, we're gonna take a question on this side.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I just have a quick question. You guys are amazing and very inspiring, right? So what can we do as a community in our area? We're from San Antonio, Texas. What can we do to ignite that fire there, or start something there, and not just start but continue
To begin to hold space like this, have those different conversations, those panel discussions. We started in our in the community homes, which is where Melissa's from. We started at the schools, which is where it's needed. Those babies need to be healed. And then, of course, whenever you're talking to a child, the parents have to be there. So we started there. And first and foremost, and I can't repeat it enough, our congresswoman. So your congressmen and women, they matter. They showed us, because they've been doing this way longer than us, right? They have to go to 1 million foundation. We don't talk about ours, but they have to go to 1 million foundation events. And so when you talk about your partners and how to strategize and things of that nature, our congresswomen and our congressmen, on the state and local level, were the ones that helped us to build those bridges and build those relationships.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the right.
No, I was just basically keep speaking, vote, and get people to vote and organize. Those are the number one things in the community that you want to speak about. That's to me, that's what these people, because they need to know if the leaders are not doing the right thing, you just vote them out. That's it. You have to pay attention to what's going on. It's from the beginning, even if it's school boards, you need to pay attention to what's going on with your children.
Thank you.
All right, we have a question on the right, and then I'm going to be on this side if there's any questions on the left, so you can speak into them.
First, a comment. Thank you so much for elucidating how important it is to vote. We here in Galveston and League of Women Voters are very much into that. And we keep pounding it into people, and the young people do say, what's the point? And and thank you again for letting them know what is the point, that it does matter. But I do have a question. Originally being from Washington, D.C., it was my joy when they put in Black Lives Matter on the street in front of the courthouse, and then they had to take it out. And I was wondering, is your foundation working to get that type of thing back on the streets? Because it was so important, and we had it all over the United States, and it was a great reminder of things. And I was wondering what, if any, of your institution was working with that, or if there's anything you would encourage us to do to get it back on.
One of the things that we've been doing is having art shows. We've been attending and having art shows, which is where, all of our art is displayed. In addition to the murals and different things like that, unfortunately, we don't have control over that. But again, if, the neighborhood comes together and they petition and they vote, then we can call Ames and he can go up and paint the mural for us. But, yeah, that's just the uncertainties of it.
Any other question on the right here, Janae? And if y'all saw her help with the technology, every older individual needs a young mentor. Not a mentee, but a mentor. So have a young person teach you how to silence your cell phone, send a text message. So she is our young mentor.
My question, I hope this makes sense. So I feel like as a member of the Black community, 6th generation Galvestonian, we've been through this before, right? And for me, it's been hard. There's not a lot of young people in Galveston, and I have had many unfortunate conversations in the past 6 months with a lot of white friends who are, I'm in my 30s, so they are, being 30 is really hard. Every bad thing that could happen, we kind of saw from the beginning, right? How I have run out of ways to encourage people in my age group, especially in the white community, who are looking at me and they're the ones saying there's no point in voting, we should just be violent, we should just give up. And I'm saying the Black community's already been through this, let me tell you, and some of them are just not receptive, and sometimes it can feel kind of isolating of going, okay, well, being a young Black female, I don't want to be the one carrying this by myself while you're having a pity party over here. And so I want to know what your encouragement would be, both to people in my position or to people you may have talked to before who are looking at you as the problem solver, and that's not necessarily your job.
Well, we always just go straightforward, we're going to shoot from the hip. If you didn't look at our administration that we have now compared to what we had, some may say Biden wasn't the best, and some may say, but look at where we are right now. That's not enough for you to get out and vote. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the answer for that. Because look at the difference. Our administration was about unifying us, equality, inclusion, healing, bringing the world together. Sitting on the lawn in Juneteenth, balloonists in our front center going, we never would have imagined it. We didn't even see that coming. And then to know that our new administrator is saying that on Juneteenth, this is the federal holiday, people need to be working. That's in your face, it's a slap in your face. And so if you don't know the importance of voting and it's not in your heart, it's not within you, they're taking away Medicaid, Medicare. Some of our grandparents, this is what they live for, Social Security, they live on that. And to know that it can be taken away from them any day. And we voted for him in office. It's like paying you to kill me. I can't imagine, what people are thinking. But it's time to wake up. We have to wake up and do some things. We have to take a stand for ourselves now. Otherwise, our children, and even us, we're going to suffer.
We have one more here, and then I'm going to ask Ms. Myers to come up and Greg to come up so that you can be ready right after her. You can come behind us, Greg. All right.
I just wanted to say thank you so much, and that I feel so grateful to live on this island and to have opportunities like this for us to come together. I did go to the place where your brother was killed, and it was such a beautiful, creative, artful expression of love and compassion. And I'm wondering, what does it look like today? Is there something permanent there, some kind of permanent marker that tells his story?
All right, now we're gonna have a presentation of the Dr. Ronald Myers Award, read by Mrs. Myers. And after that, Greg, I look up to you. Greg is gonna come and speak about why this is important to him. He has written a guest column in the Galveston County Daily News, and this history is important to him. Next month, he'll be traveling to Russia as an exchange student, and I'm going to give him some Galveston t-shirts to take the running.
Thank you, Mr. Collins, and the Rosenberg Library for having me to come out. And I just want to say personally thank you for coming out. But I want to see, where am I? Just indulge me for a minute. Now, I've heard the stars shine big and bright. In the heart of Texas. It can be in the heart of Texas because y'all didn't say it like Texas. Say it again. In the heart of Texas. Thank you. Well, I'm from Louisiana, but anyway. Galveston International Juneteenth Museum, Thelonious and Keita Floyd. This is the Ronald Myers Legacy Award for June 19, 2025, and it is my honor, Sylvia Holmes Myers, wife of the late Reverend Dr. Ronald Myers. Yes, the late, great Reverend Dr. Ronald Myers, father of the modern day Juneteenth movement. Come on. In the making. And again, thank you so much for all your hard work. I don't like to say sacrifice, but it was a ma'afa. And does everybody know what the term ma'afa means? It's a Swahili term meaning a terrible occurrence, and which it truly was. But it brought the nation together and continued to work and bringing the nation together. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This one is for the photograph of a few people taking pictures. Dr. Wright, you get a picture? I know you always taking pictures. All right, we're gonna give them their swag bag at the same time so they don't have to keep getting up. It's kind of heavy there. Thomas, you want to come up to
You know what, my wife first had to do.
All right, Thomas has his award. He's going to present to you all.
I was telling my story earlier, and y'all, I don't know where y'all was, but I heard you say something about incarceration, and I'm one of those ones that was incarcerated 18 years. I think it's a picture of prison, and I have a picture of George in the Neil Cultural Center gathering with his face inside of the pillow. So whenever y'all got time, y'all can go through there and check it out. And I saved this picture, but whenever I see y'all, and God is good, and He opened doors for me. So now, I'm one of those ones that you talk about the habits about public privilege, get out. I'm one of those ones that's doing that work. So I'm a living testimony that your life can change, and you can do good for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? I want to present this picture to y'all, and I hope y'all cherish this picture like I did, man. I'm gonna
And we also have a book presented by. Give me the microphone.
I wanted to say about the shirts that he has one on right now with the lion on it. This is the necklace that I had. A guy made it for me, but it's custom, but That's what he was making, that same picture, but on the back of his necklace, it says, the truth is just like a lion. You don't have to defend it, it will defend itself.
All right, Ms. June. June is going to present the Island of Color book to the floors, written by Ms. Isola Collins.
It's my pleasure to present to you a copy of Island of Color, which was started by my mother, Mrs. Isola Collins, and my teacher, Black Americans in Galveston, going back to 1869.
All right, thank you. You have to have the seats. So next is Greg Schaefer from Audie International High School in Houston, Texas.
Well, thank you, Mr. Collins, and thank you all for having me today and for allowing me the opportunity to celebrate Juneteenth with you. In ninth grade, my American history teacher at the Audie International School in Houston assigned me a project to visit the new Juneteenth mural and interview someone associated with the Juneteenth Legacy Project in honor of Black history. So I came to Galveston to visit the project, and Mr. Collins graciously agreed to let me interview. I stood at the very place where on June 19, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger issued General Order freeing all the slaves in Texas. Yet, as I walked through the exhibit and studied the history of emancipation in Texas, it struck me that the story of Juneteenth is not in my American history book. I asked Mr. Collins why this history of Juneteenth is not taught in our schools and why it is not in our textbooks. This is because history is written by the victors, he told me. And as this significant event was left out of the historical literature, essentially buried, former slaves passed on the story of Juneteenth to their descendants through the oral tradition of storytelling. Individual communities celebrated Juneteenth locally for decades, and only after the tragic death of George Floyd did the story of Juneteenth become more widespread, and Juneteenth became a national holiday. With the establishment of this national holiday, we honor those former slaves who kept this history alive, and we honor this momentous event in our nation's history that is a milestone in human rights, not only for African Americans, but for all Americans. After my visit to the Juneteenth Legacy Project, I realized that we as a society have a responsibility to cease chronicling history from the point of view of the dominant class. Rather, I hope that we teach our children and chronicle in our history books now the entire story, including that of the minority group as well. I hope that it doesn't take another tragedy like the senseless and heartless death of George Floyd to shine light on the buried history. As a lover of history myself, I too hope to continue to bring buried stories to life. In the meantime, until the history books catch up, I encourage everyone to visit the Juneteenth Legacy Project to learn more about this pivotal moment in our nation's history. Thank you.
not African American history. This is just history. And until we see every child on the planet as our own child. And so when I was speaking to him as a student and a child in the 9th grade, I saw my own children. I hope that others, when they see our children, could see them as their own children, their own fathers, their own mothers, their own grandmothers, and family members. I'm going to have Dr. McNally come and close us out. I do want to announce that the painting that you see of James Baldwin, done by Galveston artist Eddie Fowler, is one of my personal favorite paintings in my personal collection, and my wife and I are donating it to the Rosenberg Library. It is a major sacrifice for us to give up this painting. I honestly wanted to put it in the Juneteenth Museum, but there has been so much resistance and delay to the work that I have been trying to do because I could not get it to the Juneteenth Museum now. And as my wife said, you just not patient, Sam. No, I want something done now. So as an example, we're gonna move now to put it in a space where the public can see and appreciate it. So on August 2nd, which is James Baldwin's 101st birthday, the painting will be hung here in the library. We'll have a special program with the artist, Eddie Fowler. So mark your calendars to come back. I want to thank the library staff, the board of directors, and trustees for supporting the expansion of these programs. There's a lot of pressure not to have these programs or these paintings. So when I walk around the library, I see many paintings, and we can often question others about why they're not doing this or that, but we need to lead by example. I'm not going to tear the paintings off the wall of all the images that are here, but I'm going to offer a painting to be hung on the wall so that we can expand the narrative of our history and have more conversations. So I encourage all of you to do that. So Dr. McNally, we'll have you close out the program. Thank you all for coming to Galveston, Texas, the birthplace of Juneteenth.
Start by thanking the Rosenberg Library to provide facilities. It really matters to provide facilities, refreshments to make an event like this possible. This speaking of truth, this reclaiming of real lived human history. And so a big shout out to them. Obviously, thank you to our MC for the event, Mr. Collins. Our special guests today.
But I want to thank the special guest for attending this event. All of you. This is a family, and we need to know that we are one people across this world. We are united as one, because when we perish, we all go back to dust. You know what I mean? So until then, we're gonna march and we're gonna be able to have conversations, and it's stuff get tough, but we're gonna get through. So here we are standing, and as we continue to do this, I guarantee people will be able to see this picture, because it's gonna be a picture, and people are gonna look and see. We need to go to Galveston. We need to be Mr. McNally. We need to be Mr. Collins. We need to go in here and meet every individual who was in this facility at this particular time, because you met a lot of great people, because I know I have. For me to go around and meet people, this has been a life-changing experience for me. For you to get up there and do this speech, man, you just don't know how you touch my heart. And I see you with your mother, but I want to thank you for raising a young man just like that.
I know you probably want to take pictures and speak to them, so we're gonna ask them to go into the Fox room. If they'll walk over, and then we can make a line for those that want to take a photograph. We'll find a space in there. So we put a space. We'll take care of your swag. Make sure it's not going anywhere. All right.
All right, guys, I'm gonna drop out. Thanks for coming in. I just kind of wanted to get this out here because it was happening here and nobody else was covering it live. So